Dewey asks, does the fool still believe in Zoom long term? I have made some gains and I'm wondering if I should get out and take profit now. Matt, I'm going to let you kick this discussion off as we are talking on Zoom. But what do you think about Zoom these days? Obviously, one of the stay at home stocks that's getting hit pretty hard.
I like Zoom. I love their product.
Yeah,
Love their product. So I'll start by saying that. I have a relatively unpopular opinion around the fool when it comes to these reopening stocks in general, that they're not going to retain the amount of business that people think they are going to post-pandemic. I don't think everybody's going to be meeting on Zoom after the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I think to justify their current valuation, Zoom will either need to create some add-on products, maybe acquire something they could cross-sell to all the people that have adopted their product, create something that adds value to in-person meetings. That would be huge to change my thinking on the company. So I don't own the stock. I know many people at the Fool still believe in Zoom long-term, and I believe in it as a long-term business. I just can't really justify the current valuation, but maybe today they're down 15% as before the show. So that might change. But in the $500 level it was at, I couldn't make the valuation case. Do you own the stock, Jason?
I don't, and it's funny. I do agree with you on the valuation thing. I mean, I recommended Zoom for our augmented reality and beyond service better than a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when that happened, Zoom was trading around like $90 a share. And even at that point, I said, listen, this is a business I like a lot. The valuation's a sticking point for me. But, my philosophy typically is if I find a business where all of the other boxes are checked and valuation is the only thing that really concerns me, then, I can see the rationale for maybe buying a position and opening a position there in buying in thirds or fourths, buying in drips and drabs. You don't have to buy it all at once. So that was my recommendation for folks. I said, listen, I understand if you have valuation concerns. I do too. Maybe this is a position that you build over time and you start now. And if it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. But, either way, you can be a little bit more deliberate. And of course, it never looked back. I mean, it just continued to go up. The pandemic hit and the rest is history. I think you're right. I think as soon as kind of this stuff passes by, I feel like there's already Zoom fatigue. I think people are kind of getting sick of like just having to communicate this way. So while I think it'll continue to be a valuable tool for businesses everywhere, we've seen a lot of success pulled forward. There's no doubt about it. I am a big believer in this in the company and what they're doing. Buying and selling is a very personal decision. I mean, selling is a very difficult one to do. Locking in gains are all sorts of considerations you have to make there, tax implications and whatnot. If it's something where you feel like you have a position and you own more than you feel comfortable with, maybe it's okay to take some off the table. I don't think it's a position where I would sell the whole thing. I mean, I think this is a business that you want to own. The longer that you own it, the more it makes sense in most cases. And I think Zoom will be no exception there, but it's easy to understand if it's become a position that's causing you to lose some sleep at night because the stock has just been on a phenomenal run. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to when we can actually tape these shows in the studio and you can actually get up there and we can talk face to face for a change. Zoom fatigue.
Yeah, we never knew how much we would miss stuff like that until this happened.
I know.
Everyone always complained about going into the office and working and stuff like that. Not just at the Fool, but just in general, people complained about going to work in offices. Yeah. And now everyone misses, traveling around and doing all that. I mean, I know I do.
Well, I mean, our investing team, I mean, I'm not saying that everybody agrees with this, but I think a lot of people agree at least that the collaboration that comes from being in person, face-to-face talking with each other, there's a collaboration that comes from a physical presence that you can't get otherwise. And I think Reed Hastings is right. I mean, if you haven't read that Reed Hastings interview regarding COVID and his views on remote work, I'd encourage you to check it out because I think he said a lot of good things there. I mean, it's nice that we have this capability when we need it, but you like to be able to like valuation. You want to have many tools in your toolbox. We want to get our work done. You want to have many tools in your toolbox in order to get your work done. So, yeah.